Good day, everybody. Still here for the Daily Market Pulse. This is actually, of course, a day late. It's actually on Thanksgiving morning, Thursday, but this is actually a recording done for Wednesdays since it was a busy day yesterday and never got around till today. Markets are closed anyway, so here we go. I don't know if you can hear the music in the background, but I got a really cool a cappella um, song playing right now. Maybe I'll send you the link for this as well. Pretty nice. Okay, so with that, stocks are up. They're higher. Lower volume, however, which is expected. The holiday season upon us here with Thanksgiving in the U.S. and but the markets go higher anyway. That's always a good sign. The other good thing was Nasdaq, based on time past, has lost another distribution day. So back-to-back days went from 7 to 6 now to 5. Nasdaq to me is always the one to watch the most, and if the fact that it's losing, that's a good thing. That means there's still some reasonable strength in the markets. There's still fairly high count, obviously, at this point. The bear survey, as well, is one of its lowest ever, which usually means when things get extreme, you know at some point there's going to be a sell-off in the markets coming at some point in the near future. It can be any time from now till next couple of months, even for that matter. So you never quite know. TSX remains below the moving average, although it climbed somewhat, but still remained. And then even today, it's trading today right now, and it's trading positively, but still remaining below the 8 moving average on this Thanksgiving Thursday. All right, let's take a look at the charts. Okay, Dow Jones, you can see we talked about the little doji, shooting stars, how this was going to be a profit-taking opportunity. Volumes were fairly high for the most part, at least leading up to some of these days. So it was a little bit odd to see what was going to happen. Now, of course, they did go higher. They still need to clear over 16,100, but those are still good numbers. If it holds over 16,000, period, it's a good sign. Holds above the 8 moving average, even better. It would be nice to get a close above the shooting star from Tuesday, but we'll see how this goes. Again, things are a little wonky typically into this holiday season. End of the week, end of the month as well, so there's all kinds of action going on between buying and selling of portfolio stocks. So far so good, however. So it looks good there. S&P broke out of its original sideways trend, change of polarity, just at about the 1775 area, retested the 8 moving average as well, climbing, made a new high. Tuesday, not quite so much Wednesday, but still looks good. Sideways for the last 3 days, essentially. Still looks fine and holding above the dark cloud cover high. So it looks good. Not so bad there. I'm still encouraged by what I'm seeing here so far, at least for now. Nasdaq, as mentioned, lost a distribution day. It much higher. So the fact that it's showing its strength, because it was lagging and lagging and lagging. Now it's actually pushing, and looks like risk on to a degree here. It may be back on, which is a good sign for the bulls and the rest of the market in general. So I like what I'm seeing here. The fact that there was a rising window a few days ago, and then eventually broke above the bearish engulfing high, held for 2 days on Monday and Tuesday. Now Wednesday a little higher once again. I like what I'm seeing there. Let's go over to the TSX. We'll see this is actually currently a live chart. There we go. So we had the sideways. We had a lot of action here which demonstrated potential selling. And sure enough, we had the big sell-off on Monday. Tuesday held with a little bit of a bounce. Wednesday here now still below the moving average and just negotiating those levels, but looks pretty good so far. Looks decent there, but still got to try to get back toward these highs and try to break above on a momentum move above 13.5. If it can, then it looks like it might fade to the lows once again of the bullish engulfings down below here. Let's look at the US dollar. So this is what we had also talked about. The target would be 105.50 to 106, and it could very well still again push to get up there again, and it did. In fact, it did. In fact, it looks better than ever. It's actually in through that area right now and through the strongest candle it's had lately with a new high. So this is looking awfully like, with the lows going higher, pushing higher, the 200-day moving average as well, everything else going higher. This is looking like it's threatening to really shove higher significantly. The treasuries, on the other hand, sank reasonably well. So we knew that after 4 days to the upside, with the trend still to the downside, meaning all the lower lows and lower highs were still intact, and kind of butting up against multiple moving averages after several days to the upside, that we may see sideways to lower potentially, and we did. It gapped lower in the open, went quite a bit lower, but it did reject the low and finished closing above the moving average. So it's still kind of in the cluster area of all the moving averages. We'll see what it does. It looks reasonable, but again, right now it's struggling to try to get any higher. It's got to still sort of negotiate this area here near 132, and then resolve whether it's going to go higher or lower. So we'll see if it's going to continue to consolidate here or not, or sell off. Let's see here. It might be worth looking at the Japanese yen again. So that's sold off again. This did not look overly optimistic. It had, of course, a big sell-off below the support area. It was in no man's land. Next support area, of course, comes all the way down below here into this area right here. And so there's room to that. And then possibility of a bounce back toward the 8 moving average and the breakdown where the support was, but right now it's looking like lower and continued lower for now. Gold, we said might continue sliding, but it was really important to hold these last several doji formations, and it has, and it did. So, in fact, that's a live candle we're seeing right now because the futures are still actually open. So we saw a little bit of decline. There was a little bit of thrust into the resistance area, which was the change of polarity area in the 8 moving average as well. Came back down, retested this 1240 area. And currently, as we speak, live trading on this Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, we're seeing a push up on the bullish engulfing. So, but to truly be bullish and strong, it needs to be a much bigger candle. It needs to get back over 1250 probably. And then it probably has a better chance to get back to 1270 and higher. But right now, it's just more sideways than anything else, kind of neutral. Let's look at crude. Okay, crude still negotiating the blue shaded area, which is that support area that we've identified for quite some time, right in that 92 to 93 area. Of course, it's got a huge drop into the next level, which is 86. Now, it's not done that yet, but it's certainly giving everybody a scare and flushing lower on the Wednesday. Pardon me. Wednesday flushed much lower. Now it's just holding steady for now here on this current futures trading day of Thanksgiving Day. Holding for now. Nothing real threatening, but still holding in this level for the time being. We'll see what it does next, if it bounces or not. At this point, we can probably jump right into, well, let's actually look at the sector for oil as well, because they were pretty strong for a while. As oil went down, you can see the overall sector. What's going on here? Let's see here. There we go. Narrow these down a little bit. There we go. That seemingly is holding a trend reasonably well, but looking like it might be getting a little tired here. We'll see if it holds. I'm thinking it might drop back to the lows again. Natural gas, reasonable as well a while back. Inventories were reasonable last week. It's gone back up. We said we might come back to test 390, 395, and that looks like that's what it's definitely its goal is so far. That's its attempt. Let's look at small caps, because we just saw the NASDAQ going higher. So we want to see what risk on is doing with the small caps, and small caps are going higher right now. What's going on here? There we go. So higher again after the breakout above 111 and a quarter. So not too bad there. Back into the 1272 extension. So we'll see what it does here at 114. Good round number. Transports we should be seeing higher as well. Sure enough. And did it clear the bearish engulfing high? It did barely, but it did still. So that's a good sign. Still grinding higher. Looking for the 131 area above. That looks good. Retail, especially with Black Friday tomorrow, just hovering. So we'll see some interesting stuff next week when they announce the results of how well they did or how poorly they may have done. So it's not made new highs yet, but it's right in there looking to maybe push through. Semiconductors should be similar to the NASDAQ, but not quite. It should be, but it's not. It's been sideways. You can see the support across 40, we'll say, and as high as 41.50. It's a nice green candle, beautiful bullish candle there. Gap lower, really raced higher. So this is looking like it's trying to shove through 41 and a quarter, back up to 41.50 and break out. It looks very bullish still. Looks good, but not. It's still side neutral for now, so you have to wait for the breakout. and then we'll finish off here with the VIX. In this case, the VIX still holding down here in these levels, lower levels, bullish engulfing here on this past Wednesday, yesterday. So bounce with the morning star back to the lows, bounce, bounce. So it's trying. It's nothing really aggressive, but note the markets went higher, the VIX went higher. Obviously, a little bit of a weird effect there as well. So going into a holiday weekend, end of the week, end of the month, it's not surprising that people are going to be buying some protection. And that's all this really is, probably, at least initially. It's not really high levels of fear, it's more of a level of protection. Okay, so with that said, as I said, the futures are still kind of grinding as best they can. Markets closing out a week as well as a month, and then, of course, negotiating the holiday season as well. All right, guys, enjoy your Thanksgiving for those who are in the U.S. For those who are in Canada, well, I guess you've got kind of a day off for the most part because the markets are very quiet. There will only be a partial session on Friday, but we will be back with another recap as well. And then looks like probably a full session next week starting Monday. Tuesday will get very interesting with the new month and the new week as well. We'll see what it brings, especially after Black Friday. All right.